creating these things. So if I hit create again, let's see what I can get there. I'm creating an instance, it's provisioning, and it's even looking after me. It's giving me a warning here. So it's saying, you decided to do it with ephemeral storage, which is fine. You might know what you're doing, and that might be what you want. However, do I really realize the implications of that? Because remember, I'm empowering teams, they might not know. So I'm giving you guidance. I'm saying, well, you might need ephemeral storage, but if you do, remember that if your containers and everything all recycle, or if your node dies or whatever, your messages are going to go, and your events are going to go. And there we go, and it's letting me know. And so it's saying, okay, you might want to do a persistent storage class. All right, well, I can go in, hit edit, and I can go in and I can change it to a persistent storage class if I want and let it get on with it. And the key thing is, it's all dynamic, it's cloud native. So I'm going to build that up. And actually, I'm just going to stop it and I'm going to delete it. And what we find is a lot of our customers are saying, I can't create my environments fast enough to empower my teams. I can't do that. It takes me months or weeks to create an environment. Well, we reckon you should be able to create an environment in 5 minutes. And this is what you do. You literally come in, click and create, and you're all good to go. So what else have we got? We've got we talked about creating environments. So any of these, you can literally create the capability. You have multiple instances. We have multi-namespace support, obviously. So that may be my main namespace. I can go in here and look at a completely different one in a test namespace. So again, we're fully Kubernetes compliant. So when we're building our routes to live, when we're trying to isolate different teams, different IAMs, different namespaces, all fully native, behind the GUI. And again, you can have it GUI'd, coded, whichever way is best for you. So I can go in and say, right, I'll go into that nice award-winning UI tooling that I talked about, and I'll go and have a look. So very short a time here. I appreciate I've only got 5 minutes left, so I'll just give you a quick brief go through. And what I'm doing here is I'm going into the tooling that's live itself. And I have a phrase that says, and I hope this is okay, if you see a line of code, I'll buy you a beer. Because we say this is a genuine no-code integration. This is the code here. When you create an integration, the first thing typically, if you're creating an integration for an API that I've got here, is I'm going to say, oh, okay, give me my open API spec. I'm going to create my Swagger or whatever. Well, no, you don't. Just go in, type the data you want. And again, you've got strings, numbers, booleans, arrays, all that kind of thing. But why should I worry about what open API spec does? We've baked in the knowledge of how to build a really good open API spec. We know what REST looks like, so it helps you out. So again, I don't have to worry about whether it's post or put and where the route is, what the base path is. It's all done for me. If I want extra operations, I just pull them down. It knows what they are. If I put a filter in, for example, it knows that I've got to worry about which filters are there. It gives me all the options, and it's literally, click and go. So I'm just going to delete that one. If I edit the flow, again, what it's doing is it's really sort of helping me out, and I just follow along. And it's constantly giving me example body requests. So it knows those are my fields that I gave it. It knows, so it gives me sample, puts it all in this kind of thing in here. And we've got all the connectors, including the AI connectors. So I've got Watson visual recognition, for example. So if I want the connector, I just literally sort of go in and click. And I say, well, okay, maybe, doing visual recognition is hard. How do I get my images file? Well, literally, I go in and I drag and drop, and I literally pick the field I want and click it. We designed it based on a spreadsheet. We don't have like drag and drop mapping with lines or anything. It's all looks like spreadsheet formulas. You just click in and put the thing there, and it gives you all the metadata. So it actually helps you as you're integrating. And talking of helping out as you're integrating, here's the Salesforce connector. People are probably aware of Salesforce. It's got loads of fields, loads of operations. Again, the connector knows Salesforce, so you don't have to. And so what we're doing here is we're saying, well, okay, I'm going into Salesforce, okay, I'm going to retrieve contacts, and where the full name is, oh, it's got all of the things, all of the data from Salesforce. It goes off, does metadata discovery. If you can customize Salesforce, it picks them all up. But how do I know this is right? I don't know Andy Young is right. It says concatenation of first name, middle name, last name. Well, let's try Mr. Andy Young. Now, normally I'd have to do a build and a test to see if this works, but it's too hard. The testing is built into the tooling. So I've got, 404 not found, no documents found. Let's see if Andy Young does actually work. I'll go through that. My browser's going a little bit slow there. Hit the test. I'm running out, and it's really going off to Salesforce here, and I can see here's my input, Andy Young, here's my output, comes through, comes back with all my Salesforce data. I'm integrating it real time. I'm really agile. I'm really iterative. I can try these things. I can check my fields right, click, click, click. No build, deploy, test cycle, etc. I can go in and explore it, change the data interactively, and whatever I want to do. So how am I doing for time? Not too good. So again, it just looks like this. You go through, there's what's in tone analysis. You can tell people happy or sad, different operations, different things. All of this is here. All the connectors are built in. You don't pay for the connectors individually. You get every connector straight out of the box, all built and maintained by IBM. As we create more of them, you get more of them. And again, here's your response for your API. This is just an example. This is as much as you need. It even knows that the status code is a 201. It's pre-populated that for me. All I'm doing is just putting my things in here. But if I want description of the damage, I can just literally type it in like description. Oops. And it's automatically here putting a preview of what I'm doing. So I've got, I'm going in here, hitting in with description. Oops. Apologies, I'm sharing my screen and I'm sharing my internet. But anyway, I can see that. And what I can do if I want, I can add functions and such like, and all this will update in real time. So there's me. I've got it going. If I hit done, I can again come through, and I can go back to my dashboard, and we'll say, okay, well, we talked about easy deployment. How does that look? Well, I can either just go into the manage and start it here in the development environment, or what I can do is I can hop into my App Connect Designer my App Connect dashboard, and I can just create an integration deployment. Now, creating an integration deployment is sometimes quite hard. I have to create a CR, etc. But my dashboard is showing me which of these integrations are deployed. And I can see how many replicas are there. I can see all my different integration servers. So if I go into here, if I look for my API one, I can see here's one I created called driveway dent deletion. I can look in, I can see my gets, I can see my posts, all my stuff is there. And it's even going to generate sample requests and sample code. It's all about empowering people and making it real easy to use. So pick your poison, curl, Python, whatever you want to do. And so there I am. So these are the ones I've deployed, but we said, well, how do I deploy stuff? Dead easy. Hit create server. Here's the view of the operator. I want to design integration. That's what I built. I need the bar file, which is the broker archive. It's the executable that I created in the tooling. So I'm just going to look there. I'll go for car insurance cognitive API. Hit next. And what I'm doing here is automatically my configurations and my secrets and everything that I've created, I can pick which ones I want. So I'll have that one, please, which is my accounts, so my Salesforce, and my WhatsApp and everything. And I'll hit next. I'll give it a name. I'll call it Andy G123. How many replicas do I want? Do I want tracing? If I want tracing, yes, I'll just have tracing, please. If I don't want tracing, there we go. And I can also do automatic updates as well. So I've actually got an operator, an OLM operator, which is subscribing to a channel. So when I get new versions published by IBM, it'll say, do you want a new version? I can upgrade it and build it. If I hit create and quick prayer to the demo gods, then what I can see here is it's deploying through, and it's actually creating a full deployment. As you can see, I've got 0 out of 3 replicas. It's unavailable at the moment. Well, do we believe that? Let's go and have a look at OpenShift. So again, OpenShift is built in. Not built in, we're totally on top of OpenShift. And if I look on my workloads here, oops, that again. Yep, I should be able to go and see my deployments, look at my project. Again, we're all namespace aware. What do we call it? We call it Andy something. And we can see, there's all the different thing there. Was it AG? I'm trying to find out which one it is. But I can see all of these different ones here. And again, it's full OpenShift Kubernetes native. I can see my YAML, I can see my replica sets, I can see all of my pods. And if I want to do this in full CI/CD, well, I can totally do that. So I'm just going to see, web page is slowing you down. Well, yes, that's probably because I'm running multiple things over an internet connection. But again, it's full cloud native, it's replica sets, it's pods. There's nothing here, that you, with enough typing in that you wouldn't do yourself when you're creating deployments. But why do that? Why not empower your users and just let them do it? Of course, everyone would say, well, we want to do pipelines and full CI/CD. Well, we're totally friendly with that as well. You can use whichever pipeline technology you want, but if you've got OpenShift pipelines, why would you not use it? Here's the pipeline runs I've been doing. For some reason, they're all succeeded. But again, you can see that I've got my clone of my Git. It's all built from a webhook. So here are all my integrations that I've talked about within my solution. We talked about multiple queues, multiple integrations, and multiple APIs, all as part of the solution. Builds them, deploys them, runs all my tests. So this is my dev environment, runs all my tests. Once my test is finished, I'm going to retag the image ready for, sorry, this is dev. I'm going to retag the image for test. Once my test is working, I can go through, and obviously I can do full CI/CD with UAT and prod, and I can deploy as and when I want. As you well know, I can do multiple versioning. If I want to use the enmeshing underneath, that's fine too. So I can have multiple versioning, multiple, all this kind of good stuff. And of course, we, push it to any container storage that you want. But, we would use image streams, within OpenShift because, well, why wouldn't we? So obviously, we've got all the different images. We can see the history and all that kind of good stuff. So the key thing is, what we tried to do is marry that whole easy to use thing. But once we've built it, how do we reuse it? I've built the APIs, but how do I get it out there? Well, my API management actually allows me to manage my APIs. And what you get generated automatically, I'm going to need to sign in here because this is an end user one. You get generated an API portal, which gives you full self-service capabilities, your APIs. So you can browse products, and API products have multiple APIs in them. Here's my demo car insurance. And I can go through, and it's giving me, and this is what your API consumers will see externally or internally. It gives me a full portal, and this is fully customizable. It's Drupal underneath, so you can brand it to do whatever you want to do. I can download that API document. I've got all the details. I've got all the security. I've got blogs, forums, support, etc. If I go to the individual things, remember you saw about this, auto-generating examples, auto-generating requests. So I can literally copy and paste that and run it. But why would I do it? I'm even giving my clients a built-in test client. I'm going to generate some data. There we go. Let's see if it works. And I hit send, and it comes back and it says, okay, the classify images is invalid. We couldn't process the request because it's not a valid image. Why is that? Well, I've got a photo of a car, and it's not very good. So let's fix that up a little bit. I'll go to CP4I demos, and I can go into all of our demos and everything, by the way, published on GitHub. So you can get in there and use them, use all of our demos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it a car, but I'm actually going to send it a chicken instead. And let's see what it makes of that. So I'm going to get my chicken base 64 and go and get the raw from here. Oops, see if that works. Go in, and I'm going to put that in there as the photo of the car. Hit the send. Remember, on my API actually goes off to Watson, and it tells him what I'm doing. And oops, there's the first glitch. Unexpected token. Let's see if I can do it again. There is no car in this image. Please resubmit. It found that it was a chicken in there. And if just to prove that it's working, I can go in and I can hit it. And let's find a car. So that's a car JPEG. That's I believe that's actually James's. No, it's just his photo, I think. So let's have a look at the car base 64. And again, it doesn't matter if it's base 64, but this is the API we've decided to do. So hit there. Go back to the demo. Do I need to delete that? No, I'll regenerate some random data for it so it's ready to go. Here's my photo of a car. I'm going to hit that there. And what else have I got? I've got a license plate. That's actually too long for a license plate, so let's see what happens. Whoops, it's my pasting. Apologies for my browser here. See if I can just whiz that back. Now it's thinking because it's going off to Watson, it's going off to Salesforce, it's going off to all of those things here, and it's gone in and it's created my Salesforce case, which has got all of my data in it, and it's actually put my data in there as well. If I went into Salesforce, I can see my case is created, my insurance case has been done, it's gone off, looked at it, checked it's got a car in it, and updated it to Salesforce. So I appreciate this was meant to be a short whistle-stop tour of the Cloud Pak for integration. What we've done is we have tried to say we will go through and we will marry all of the capabilities together with the ease of use that we want people to have. So what we're saying is we want people to take the ease of use, but also to have the power of cloud native deployments, all the containers and all the goodness that OpenShift offers you. If you want to go down and create custom resources, if you want to build your own YAML, etc., then you perfectly can. But we want to empower those users to do that and have all of that great agile integration so that they can build their integrations when they want, where they want, run them on any cloud, and use the power of OpenShift. And boy, do they. We have in banking, finance, manufacturing, government, power, transport, utilities. IBM integration is everywhere throughout the world. And we actually say it's actually some days quite hard to live your life without using IBM integration in some way, shape, or form. If you take money out of a cash machine, you pay with electronic payments, you make a phone call, all that kind of stuff. You get on an airline, well, maybe not less these days. Then it's absolutely all over the place. If you have any doubt, we're in 23 of the top 25 US retailers, all of the global comm service providers, 21 top 25. All of the top global 50 banks. I've worked in a lot of banks putting this stuff in. 80% of all worldwide airline reservations. And if you use your credit card transactions, you've probably used IBM integration. So it's simple, it's fast, it's secure. I'm the offering manager for it. It's my baby. I love it. And, I hope you will too. So thank you for spending time. I'm a little over, I'm afraid. So apologies to those on the call. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see my wonderful computer-generated background, and I'm very, very happy to take any questions you have.
Thank you so much, Andy. We have a couple of questions already. First, what image recognition model did you use to recognize the car?
Oh, well, that's interesting. We were going to train it up, but that, believe it or not, is the default Watson image recognition model that comes out. If you so the Watson we're using is actually on the IBM cloud. You can either use it as part of the Cloud Pak for data, or you can use it in the IBM cloud, and it's free for up to 2,000 calls a month. Basically, just hop on there, sign up to a light plan. And yeah, all of this stuff is just using the general model. We thought we'd have to train it and teach it about cards, but we thought we'll see what it can see. And it's quite creepy. It says, well, it's an SUV and it's got 4 wheels and this kind of stuff. It can tell whether it's a roadster or not. One of our demos checks the type of car, and if it's a roadster, ragtop, convertible, I don't know what everyone calls it around the world, it sends it off to a different company. And that's one of our demos as well. Obviously, you can train it up. There's another demo you can see where we trained it up with all sorts of damage. So you actually send in a picture of your wrecked car, and it says, oh, it needs a coat of paint, 2 new doors, and a new windshield. But yeah, the demo you've seen there is the base out of the box Watson. It's really quite powerful.
Guess I should unmute. Diane, feel free to jump in if you want. Is there a list of images it recognizes similar to mask, RCNN, etc.?
Oh, I honestly don't know. If you hop on to cloud.ibm.com and hop on there, again, just have a browse around, search for Watson image recognition, and there should be data on there as well. If it's interesting, there's a general list, which is one I normally use. I honestly don't know that one. We'll see if there's any data on there. If you can't find out, let us know. We'll find an answer for you. We do not do face recognition. That's one of the key things. It can tell you there's a face in there. So for GDPR, sometimes what we do is we say, is there a person in the photo? And it'll just say, there's a person. So we go, no, sorry, we don't want a photo with a person in it. Thank you very much, GDPR. Can you try again? And that's another example of what we do for these self-service applications, because we want to respect people's privacy.
And what does it mean to go off to Watson? So what capability in Watson are you using?
Okay, yeah, that's probably my phrasing. Going off to Watson, basically, Watson is a cloud service. So the connector and all of the connectivity is all built into the Cloud Pak for integration. So literally, you sign yourself up for a Watson account, either a free trial, or if you've got a paid one, or you can use it on the Cloud Pak for data or in the cloud. And basically, the connector hops off to the Watson. It knows about all of the metadata. It knows about all of the structures, all that kind of stuff. And as long as you give it your credentials, your API key, it goes off to the IBM cloud or the one on premise.
So that's a good segue into how integrated are you into the other Cloud Paks, or with the other Cloud Paks, like Cloud Pak for Data, since you just mentioned.
Cloud Pak for Data. So yeah, so we are good Cloud Pak citizens. We share the common services across the packs. Obviously, we share OpenShift because we're big fans of OpenShift. And so you can install the other Cloud Paks, all together on the same cluster if you want. Things obviously for Cloud Pak for apps. When you build your apps and you build your CI/CD, you can then use the APIs and etc. and call the APIs through the portal with Cloud Pak for apps. With data, obviously we go off and either use REST or we use JDBC links to the data there. Multi-cloud management is an interesting one, because you can actually take the Cloud Pak for Integration artifacts and deploy it across multiple clouds and monitor it and manage it with Cloud Pak for multi-cloud management. So this is what we were saying right at the start, is that you've got all the different Cloud Paks, but we share the common services, for example, the common logging, the common monitoring. So we utilize that. You only install it once. But integration is our business. So we do play very nicely with the other packs.
Nice. I mean, that's really good to hear. And are there any joint customer wins that you can talk about? I know you went through your slide with the banking and all the verticals. Is there anything you can highlight?
I'm just trying to think, because I need to remember which ones are which ones are. I'll have to come back and sort of get you the one, because we're IBM. Obviously, we respect our customers' privacy. We'll go up. We can get you the list. There's a lot of the ones I'm worked on. I've worked on ones I'm not even allowed to talk about. So, but we obviously have to get their agreement for them. I mean, there are multiple different areas. One of the ones is a big retailer that I've been worked on. I've done integration for a lot of the banks in the UK. I've done all sorts of different things. I've done credit card payments. I've done retail in home improvement. Been involved in airlines. Done a lot of pharmaceutical stuff, that kind of thing. If you look on IBM.com, for the cloud integration, there's some a lot of customer success stories there. I think CVS Aetna is one of them. Apologies if that's not the official one, but if you go on to IBM.com/cloud/integration, you can see there's various stories there of places we've been. Another one is that the weather channel capability is built in. Those of you who don't know, weather.com is now an IBM business. And so obviously we have weather connectivity built in, and we do sort of joint things with them as well. So you can go off and we've got a demo that says, I've got an insurance claim. I'd like to claim for wind damage. And it says, well, okay, yeah, we can see that you were part of this weather system. Yeah, we'll pay out and all that kind of good stuff. So, using that, obviously there are certain weather events today, so it's really useful to help people out.
Hey, Andy, this is Bob Sinclair. I hope you don't mind me asking a question, but I'm the
no, please do, Bob. Thanks.
I'm the chief architect for Red Hat, and I support Synergy. And so having you on the call is really awesome. In fact, I'll turn my video on. I've been wanting to meet the offering managers for across all the IBM Cloud Paks for a while. So from a selfish perspective, I'm curious, how do you work with the Cloud Pak folks? So I know Matt Rodkey who does the Cloud Pak for MCM, and I was just curious how tightly how tight is the strategy between you all?
So we're very well integrated. So what we've got is we have various meetups and sync ups. For example, I've got weekly sync ups currently with the MCM team, because that's what we're working on very closely at the moment. I used to be UK practice lead for BPM and automation. So obviously I've got a lot of links into the labs there. We also have the base Cloud Pak team. So if you know Andre Toast and all that team there who do the Cloud Pak Foundation. So obviously we need to make sure that things like our use of common services, the support for versions of OpenShift, sort of all this kind of stuff that we're doing is all linked up, and so that we look common across all of the Cloud Paks, so that we integrate nicely. But yeah, we some of it's ad hoc, some of it we have weekly link ups with. I'm not the only OM for this. There is a team of 6 OMs, where we are in Hersley, plus various ones around the globe for the individual capabilities. So we've got OMs and APIs, etc. And yeah, we do. We do talk a lot to each other. B, we wish we had time to talk more. And obviously, when we link up with with sort of the various virtual events, like obviously things like TechCon and Virtual Think, all of those kind of things, we do like to get together a lot. We wish we had more time to do it, and we hope to do it more going through the year.
Yeah.
But again, similar with with our Red Hat colleagues, we really want to spend more time learning about all the great stuff in OpenShift and such like, and how we can really leverage that even more.
We need a good physical on-site event to do that connecting, whether it's IBM Think or Red Hat Tech Exchange, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Eventually again.
But yeah, we make the best of what we've got, and this is a great way to come and say hi to people and say about what we're doing. So I'm really grateful for having me, for having us, by the way. It's really appreciated.
So what are you most excited about that's coming up in Cloud Pak for integration? I mean, this could go for both of you, but
what am I most excited about? We are having a real focus on ease of use and empowerment. This idea of being able to go from from sort of having I'd like to be able to do this to really getting it out there really quickly. I mean, you've seen how quickly we can do the API integration, click, and we go, and really focusing on getting that reuse out there, being able to find out what other people have been doing. So really leveraging that API portal so that when you're building something, it natively integrates to there. So you can say, oh, here's everything everyone else has been working on. Here's how I'm going to reuse it. Obviously, lots more adapters coming in and lots more connectors, connecting to all sorts of different things, coming through. Like I said, the weather company was a really big one for us because, that gives us some really good stuff. We love getting out with the AI things. The other one is about that declarative deploy. So the idea is we're fully focused on GitOps at the moment. You saw that obviously leveraging all the OpenShift pipelines and the pipeline builds, and you can do it with a little help. So you take the YAMLs and you put it into Git, and you do the OC apply and everything, and you build those things. And we're thinking, well, why should you have to build it? Rob, who's not here, our DE, says, why should I have to tell a computer something it already knows? And surely it knows how to build full CI/CD pipelines, right? It knows how to do that. So we've got all those capabilities. So what we're excited about is to be able to make more and more of these things, just saying, please deploy, please make it look like that, please do so, GitOps, and really making sure it's so easy to use and so capable, and looking after those guardrails. You saw like those validating webhooks, for example. We're trying to bring those earlier in the cycle so that you can't fall off if you like. It sort of goes through. It's validating those things. We're putting a lot more testing right up at the front. We're shifting DevOps a lot more to the left. So that's the some of the real key stuff we're looking at. Every quarter you'll see more and more.
I love how, I mean, it's already pretty automated, and I know you're building a lot more automation into it, so that's really exciting to see. And the GitOps developments, and we're talking more and more about DevSecOps and AI ops and all of it. So where do you really see integration going?
So where we see it going is very much leveraging the complete multi-cloud. The idea being that you've seen about IBM Cloud Satellite, there's no such thing, and saying, right, it doesn't matter where your integration is, because we can always find each other. Because we're integrated, not only can we integrate to other things, we can integrate between ourselves, so synchronously, asynchronously, obviously fully securely, and all the rest of it. So that it's almost with the MCM, we can almost say, well, I'll have some of it here, some of it here, some of it here. For example, with our API capability, you can put the gateways wherever you want. So we avoid that trombone effect of having to call home to a gateway, and really being able to say, we're really going to leverage that multi-cloud idea, so that you say, well, a lot of our customers are saying, well, actually, I'm on Azure and Amazon and on-premise and on IBM Cloud. How do I make all that happen together? How do I have a central point of management so that I can look after all my different clouds whilst having it all deployed out? And that's why we're leveraging the satellite technologies. We're also looking at, because we're integrating, we see everything that goes from A to B. obviously, depending on encryption and what your application will let us do, we can obviously balance it. But obviously, we've got things in queues, we've got things in streams, we see things going through our gateways. So how can we take that data that's being integrated, and obviously with the customer's permission, because IBM says your data and your insights are yours. So we keep that private, but how do we make our customers keep that advantage? So we can say, here's all of this data that you've been moving. This can give you a huge pile of insight. And it's that next level of saying everything's connected. Now I've got event streams, I've got queues, I've got APIs. How do I get that insight from that data we've been moving around? But how do we also keep that private and locked down and protected? Because it's their insights. It's not IBM's insights. It's not a third party's insights. So we'll go from that. But it's that multi-part cloud and the insights, I think, is going to be. Because when I've looked at data analytics, one of the challenges is sometimes customers will say, tell me something I don't know about my company. And we'll say, great, where do we get the data from? And they say, well, it's all in here, it's all in here, it's all in here, it's all in here. If you've got a fully integrated enterprise, then you can see what data you're moving. And you can also see the more data that's integrated, the busier your business is. So you can say so if I suddenly see my integration to my customer satisfaction database is getting higher, oops, I've got this problem here. What am I going to do? So, I can see that insight from even the volume of data rather than the actual data inside there as well. So that's something I'm excited about, to say we've got this capability to get all this data. How can we use AI ops, and how can we use the analytics to really gain competitive advantage with that?
I have a question. It's very practical.
Sure.
This is Diane
Sure.
again.
Hi, Dan.
Hi. So, Andy, when you have all these permutations of places that people can run, and all these different clouds and everything, what is your plan for keeping the quality up so that when somebody clicks on something, it's definitely going to work? In other words, how do you get the coverage of all of this? Do you have a plan?
So, you mean in the software itself, or how do you do it when our customers are out building it?
So, say your customer is, going to go in IBM Cloud. Is someone actually, do you have the automation to make sure that all of those pieces launch and that all of that works on all of the different versions? There are lots of moving parts here. And I'm just wondering what the plan is to make sure that all those moving parts, that the version levels are changing all the time. And how do you get your arms around that?
That is the tricky one. The versioning is the one that's lots and lots of fun. Internally, we have dedicated testing and QA guilds that we interact with, whose entire job is to look after this, not to actually sort of do the testing. Oh yeah, they do that. Obviously, the teams are testing. But how do we improve our testing? We've got this continuous improvement mantra, and they sort of go through and say, how do we test it? How do we do what we're doing? And so a lot of this, you saw the thing about the governance on one side of the, you have the asset repo on the left and the governance on the right. And as you say, all the different versions, how do you make them talk to each other? We're big on compatibility with versions. So for example, if you're using MQ messaging, I can't remember exactly how far back it goes, but it goes back a long way. It might even be every version. Don't quote me on that. We're very big on backward compatibility between our messaging and connectivity layers. So if I send an MQ message on the latest version, I can probably even talk to ones that are out of support now. And they will integrate. We're very big into open standards. So obviously, if you send an Open API 2.0 compatible API, then it will go across. And what we do to managing those APIs, the API manager has built-in lifecycle management with things like versioning, things like deprecation, things like it's got the migration of subscriptions. So when I deploy a new version of an API, for example, it will, depending on how compatible it is, it will automatically migrate my subscription over. It's quite key, isn't it? Because also, how do you ensure that your software is up to date? And that's something that since we moved to operators from Helm in the June release 2020.2.1, the actual operator's job, one of it is to check for releases. If you saw when I deployed the integration, I clicked on the 11.00 and you could see R1, R2, R3, etc. And the idea is when obviously we release once a quarter. So people are going to be saying, how do I upgrade? How do I manage? And it's the operator's job. They're all a minimum of level 2 maturity. If you know the operator maturity levels, 1 is installed, 2 is seamless update where it's relevant. Some of them do backup and restore, etc. But it's the operator's job, and we test this going out, to help you upgrade and help you migrate between the versions so that you can always keep as current as you can. Okay. But at the end of the day, it's a really, really hard problem. And thanks for raising it. It's, I wouldn't say, do we have every single solution to it? No. Are we focusing on it? Yes, we certainly are. And so are we doing as much as we can to try and make it easier for people? We're trying as much as we can. Every release, we're hoping it'll be better. Yeah,
that sounds good. It's a lot like the App Store, except that, the App Store for Apple, except that, like, if you write an app and then Apple lets you know that their libraries are changing, something's being deprecated, then that you have some relationship with that person writing the app or the person who's using your operator, so that they know that a change is coming. There's just a lot to this. And yeah, I was just wondering, sounds like a lot of testing all the way along. And yeah.
Very, very much so. The other thing, definitely, when you're looking at that, have a look at the API portal, because I didn't have time to show you. You've got things like blogs and notifications and communities in there about like getting that relationship, like you said, with the App Store. We actually talk about our operator hub as being like an app store. You can pick the capabilities that you want onto the Cloud Pak, but also we talk about our API portal as being, our API store. And so it's not only just getting you in and getting you activated, it's keeping you engaged, answering your queries, and managing that life cycle about, going from early adopter, because we might say, well, actually, we'll bring you in as an early adopter to try it. We'll then go into mainstream, we'll go into deprecated. And when we're superseded, there's mechanisms to actually sort of move you over. So it's all about letting, your consumers, as you say, be involved. There is a new version coming. How can I help you move? This is what the new version does. This is what the old version does. It's backward compatible. It's not backward compatible. There's different changes coming in, because CI/CD, I mean, you can deploy as often as you want. And I'm as guilty as anyone on my iPhone that I'm sitting here saying there's a pile of updates. And I'm thinking, do I want to change it? Do I not? And so, it's tricky.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your question, Dan.
All right, thank you. We have 1 minute left. So Andy, thank you so much. That was a great deeper dive into, I'm sure we could talk for hours about Cloud Pak for integration. So maybe we can have you on again, but thank you again. And for everybody out there, remember to go to commons.openshift.org and sign up if you haven't already. OpenShift Commons is a group of partners and developers and end users all coming together to talk about OpenShift. So thank you again for joining us today. And for everybody else, we will see you next time. So next Tuesday at the same time, 12 noon Eastern. Thank you.
Andy, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to reach out to you after.
Please do. Thanks everybody for watching, and all stay safe, you and your families.
Take care.
Thank you.